Hello, and welcome to the latest in our ImpactWayv podcast series, Making an Impact. March is National Reading Month. It's designated to promote a love of reading and developing communication and learning. A perfect opportunity to welcome today's guest, Tamiko Hubbard. Tamiko is the founder of Sweet Reads, an amazing organization doing incredible work in their part to instill a love of books and reading. Welcome, Tamiko. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Karen, so much. I'm really excited to be here and chat with you today and really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you. Why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about Sweet Reads and how it all came to be?
Okay, so Sweet Reese is a children's literacy nonprofit that I founded about 6 years ago. We are dedicated to getting books in the hands of children and celebrating an early love of reading. Um, we know, unfortunately, that just due to a number of circumstances, there are a number of children that don't have necessarily books in their homes. And so I just really, taking a look at the numbers, taking a look at the own books that I had to share at the time because my children had outgrown their beautiful books sitting on their shelves. Just really looked for a way to be able to actualize this. And, over the years, we've been able to do that as well as connect with a number of authors. And that really has been a beautiful bonus, as well, because it didn't necessarily think about that initially in starting Sweet Reads, but it has been a wonderful journey to be able to connect with the actual authors who are writing a number of these books.
It really speaks to the impact that you have made to get these books in the hands of children and organizations, that the authors come to you and want to collaborate. Congratulations on that. But I think, as you had mentioned, and when we had talked, I mean, the studies show the impact when children do not have access to the books. Do you want to speak
Absolutely.
to that?
Sure, absolutely. So we know that when there are little to no books, age appropriate books in the home, it affects children in a number of ways. So whether it be from just the actual development of love of reading, perhaps at an early age, or perhaps affecting maybe future just literacy skills, or ultimately perhaps career and job opportunities. So we know how important it is for children to have books at home and just for a sense of enjoyment and exploration and creativity, and to see themselves reflected in the books as well as learn stories about other children who may not be like them, but to learn their stories as well. And so that is why I'm so excited too that there's such a wealth. We need more, but there's such a wealth of books out there, children's books that are being written by authors to explore all of these stories. So we really like to champion and be able to assist children in this journey by helping provide them with books either to help build their own home libraries, or perhaps organizations that they attend building their libraries or providing them to the schools, as well when they're looking to supplement the libraries they have, because we know the budget constraints that unfortunately a number of schools are on as well. And so we partner in these different ways to just be able to share books.
Oh, that must be, such an incredible asset. I was on the library board in our local town here, and increasing the collection is always an issue. You do try, but to have an organization come in that, I'm sure you're very much embraced. And I love what you just said about allowing or encouraging children to have their own collections, because that is something precious that's theirs, and it just shows how precious a book can be, and just literature and learning. I know for myself, you might have been limited geographically where you could go, but those books, and I was avid, reader and love of books. It could take me anywhere in the world and
Mhm.
open more opportunities than I ever thought possible in my little geographic area.
Absolutely, I agree, Karen. Books are a transport and destination from, I believe, early on from where you're from, either from, again, seeing stories that are similar to yours. So maybe you don't necessarily feel so alone in whatever your story is, as well as exploring, stories of other children or adults or animals that are totally different from what you are currently living, but you are either encouraged, inspired, or just have the ability to dream about something else. And I know that from an early age for me, they were so important. I still have a number of my favorite books from growing up. I take a look at the notes that I wrote there, as well as the personal notes that perhaps my mom wrote in the book to me. And I just know how much they meant. And so I just feel like you never really know what an individual book could mean to a child, as well as a number of books, and how they will carry that and perhaps maybe reread them over life. There are a number of children's books now that I take a look at, that I have the benefit of taking a look at again, um, via Sweet Reads, and just how they could continue to teach you. For That's one of my favorite things, is that, and sometimes it does hamper things a little bit, and just because I'm so excited to read these books again when we're sorting books, they're so beautiful to look at. But when you're rereading something, even as an adult, and so that it also creates the opportunity with parents and children, because parents may or may not have read a particular book when they were younger, and it creates these moments, and these moments for children, as well as us to be very present in that moment. And so I love that we're able to create these moments for children to be where they are, and enjoying, enjoying their book.
Yeah, you're right about moments. I just whether you're sorting books, I recently went to a baby shower and everybody was asked to bring a book. And the reactions to these books, and it's some of them you just can't just look without flipping through the pages because they meant something to you. Or the time spent with a family member. How precious is that to sit? I mean, with the child on your lap or next to you and reading. Those are such precious moments for families to bond in a way that you just can't get that on a iPad.
No, no, I absolutely agree. I remember one of my first loves of books was Goodnight Moon. And that was because my mom would read it to my sister and I, and we would sit there and read it. And I still love that book. And then, consequently, when my boys were little, I would read that to them. They had additional ones. They, wanted some more books about trucks. But at the same time, I made sure that I read that book as well. And it just has precious memories that, no matter how many years go by, I will never forget it, and hopefully they won't, and hopefully, they will be able to continue that, if and when they have children. And that's just those kind of moments too that we're trying to create, to help facilitate, because we know so many parents are interested in having these bonding moments with children. But we also know that, unfortunately, due to a number of circumstances, economically now, especially, we've continued to see since the pandemic, numbers just decreasing in regards to being able to purchase books, just due to economical concerns. So being able to help support that really is, exciting in that way for us to be able to help create, um, and help build the home libraries.
I would think that you have seen that throughout your work. Like you said, that the books um, are not um, very affordable to a lot of families. And those same families often have the stresses of just life, work, aren't able to do that. And I would think that it's even more precious sometimes when you're trying so hard to keep the family afloat and to give your child opportunities. To have those books in the home must be very rewarding to you to see the impact that you are making and opening so much windows of opportunities for the children who are now getting exposed.
Absolutely. And I think about tomorrow, we have, as you mentioned, it is National Reading Month, and we're partnering with another community family organization tomorrow for an event. And we're also having our teen volunteers, our Sweet Reads high school volunteers come, and just to be able to see those moments, because we as adults can say reading is cool, reading is great, but we're adults and parents saying it. But to have teenagers who are involved, we know that, little kids look up to teenagers, and to be able to see them involved in helping them pick their books and help, finding out what they're interested in is really something that was important for me in starting the organization, because we want to be able to see that next wave, next wave of volunteers and people involved with, as this continues, and being able to champion literacy, being able to do it currently now, for them to be able to be involved in volunteering, and really excited about books, and helping younger children be excited about reading, because they definitely can do it, better than us adults sometimes, and parents, because they're still, cool teenagers.
But what an impact. I mean, for them to visually see that just sitting down, doing something fun, you like volunteering, but to be with that child, to communicate, look in the eyes, I can't imagine that they are not impacted in a way that is quite profound and could take them further on, to
Mhm.
see the impact you could make on the life of another person and where it could go from there.
I definitely hope so, because it's both ways, right?
Mhm.
That's the ultimate goal, for them to be able to feel the actual impact that they can have on society, and feel the good in being able to help a child pick, hopefully, a new favorite book, but as well for the children to be able to see that there are other people who care, there are teenagers, there are other people in their community who care, to be able to provide them with these opportunities. I just think, it's really something that we continue to be excited about, and I am so proud of the work that our high school, Sweet Reads High School Club, continues to do.
My gosh, looking at people who try to get clubs and teenagers together. If you have a Sweet Reads High School club, you are doing some incredible, great things too. That's amazing. Do you want to speak about some of the events that you do have, in the community, and perhaps even how you get these books to get them in the hands? Are they donations, by books, financial?
So we source books a number of ways. Initially, it was literally on my boys play soccer. They played soccer at the time, and it was on the soccer sidelines, walking, to parents, asking if they had any gently used nice books, in good condition, that they were willing, that they wanted to donate, and so that we would be able to then share them with other children. We were very fortunate to have an early partnership with Barnes and Noble here, and we've done a number of programs with them over the years: book fairs, author celebrations, book celebrations, including one with a previous guest of yours, Daryl DMC, which was so great, to celebrate Daryl's dream and that children's book. And then, of course, we work with different corporations, if they're perhaps doing a book drive or an individual campaign with their employees. So we always, would love to partner for that sort of um, project, as well as individual donations, just individual donors who really, are excited about literacy and supporting literacy and children's literacy, and just support us. And so we're thankful for all of the different ways, as well as other kind of corporate partnerships that we work to fundraise with, like Old York Cellars, which has been a wonderful partner, and some other companies that we do individual fundraisers with to be able to support our cause.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You do get a lot of community support, which is great, and pretty impressive list. Teaming up with Barnes and Noble. Daryl's book is amazing. My granddaughter is shout out to Daryl. I mean, but my granddaughter is wears glasses. The only one in her class that wore glasses, very much into art. The similarities were just so incredible. And people are saying, oh, just take off those pink glasses. Her glasses had to be pink, but she needed them to
I
see.
had pink glasses.
Oh. And it's so funny that she'll recognize in many different ways. She'll have like a toy set or a Lego and say, there's nobody like me there because she feels in her little circle she's the only one with glasses and for whatever reason, and it's so nice to be able to connect. That book really hit home with her as
I
well.
love that, and I love to hear that, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I shared this with him as well. I'm a little girl from Queens who grew up with glasses since I was 3. I wear my contacts now and glasses sometimes, but the to be able to feel that sort of sentiment, when you have, glasses at that time, and that is the power, going back to what we were talking about earlier, right? The power of being able to connect with a book, with a character, w- depending on what they're doing, and just being able to feel like as a child, I'm not alone, or the story is funny to me, or feeling some sort of kinship, or for another child to reflect, oh, maybe I shouldn't say these mean things to another friend because this is mean, when they see it in the story. And so I love that, and I love that your granddaughter, feels that way too.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I've just, we could talk about books forever because just have, I've always gotten lost in books. I think I shared on Saturday mornings, I would stay in bed as long as I can because if once I got up, I had to do chores and whatever, and I just wanted to read that book. So I just,
I know the feeling.
yeah. Well, do you have anything before we, and this, I'd love to have you back and talk more about this. Is there anything coming up that you'd like to, give a shout out? On the bottom of the screen here, I have sweetreads.org for more information. I invite you to go to Tamika's website.
I appreciate it, Karen. Yeah, we're just continuing to look for, corporate partners to work with, as well as we're continuing to work like the organization we're working with tomorrow, community events in the summertime. We're going to be doing a lot of, thankfully, we're back outside now, and we'll be doing a lot of community events, bringing books to the children where they are. But we're always looking to just really develop additional partnerships, ways to work with, with corporations, with other community organizations. So if anyone has any ideas, ways to support, we're open to all of it and discussing, and as well as authors, other children's book authors. I love the connection, as I mentioned earlier, that I've been able to have with connect with children's books authors over the years, and looking to meet with more of them, just chat, share their stories, share their books. And so if there are those who would love to share their books with us, that then we could include in our donations, I would love that as well.
Well, I thank you, and I encourage everybody to check out sweetreads.org. I mean, the data shows the difference that it makes in a child's life, the building blocks for a good future when they have more access to books.
Absolutely.
So it's wonderful to have you. It was such a pleasure talking with you, Tamiko. I hope we could touch base again soon in the future. And I
I
think,
would love that. Thank you
oh,
so much, Karen. Really appreciate it.
Oh,
A
I do
great
as
time.
well. It's a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. If you like this conversation, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Talk to you soon.